Hey YouTube! So we've got what I believe is a sakai. This is sometimes called a tulip, I think. Remember it was a thing a couple of years ago. Gibson had found some design off the back of a, like, in a drawer somewhere that they'd never made. That was kind of this shape. Yeah, so this one has someone's made a scratch plate out of red plastic for it and stuck stickers on it. Apart from that, it looks pretty much original. Um, yeah, these are. I've had a few of these recently. They actually sell for quite a lot of money for what they are. It's basically very, very small, thin bodied. These pickups are awesome. The one I had before had two and a tremolo. This one has a really weird way of terminating the strings. It's kind of like in the bottom part of this here is it's kind of like folded in like that sort of thing, and you put the string in and into the hole. So if you imagine if it's got like sort of fingers going the inside, which was a bit fidgety to restring, but not that bad. It's pretty simple. Not an awful lot to it. This one actually has the original bridge. I've since discovered why the original bridges are quite often missing. See the threaded posts that take the thumb wheels. They're worn down, and the thumb wheel doesn't fit it anymore. So this one's basically, it was already wedged up with washers. Now it's wedged up with washers a little bit more. I had to do an all over neck shim, which I've had to do with these a couple of times. The pickup isn't adjustable height wise, so it's fixed. So there is a point when you bring the action down where the strings actually just sit on top of the pickups, physically touching them. So you need to basically, when I say a full shim, basically it's a piece of plywood that's basically the same size as the neck pocket. I just put it in to rather than changing the angle of the neck, I just lifted it up. Slightly dirty input jack, but when you turn the volume up, it works. And to be honest, these pickups are awful good. I mean, if anyone's ever got any of these pickups lying about, I'll take them and I'll put these into like a modern guitar rather than one of these things. The frets on this are really pretty badly worn, and the fretboard's dirty, but I don't want to clean the fretboard because it's going to take the paint off it. Going by the amount this is worn, this guitar must have been played a lot. And you can kind of see why. It kind of does have a nice jangly guitar sound, Tone control works. It does, yeah. And this one has fret markings put on the end on Tipex, the way they should be, because these don't come with fret markings on the end of the fingerboard, which just makes it impossible to play. These look like the original tuners. They're suitably yellowed and they're all intact, which is pretty rare in itself. So basically it's only really the scratch plate, and these knobs won't be right either. And to be honest, I think these pots look awful good. These are like Japanese 80s pots. So I think these are maybe something like what you would get in an Aria Pro or a Westone or something like that. That's what's in this. So I think these have been upgraded at that point. What I would expect to find in this is terrible, terrible pots. Ones that are kind of like from hi-fi or something like that. Not when you buy a cheapy guitar now, you buy £100 Squire or something now, the pots you get are all right. Yeah, it's just quite a simple thing to make. Whereas these guitars, the pots are kind of like lots of plastic bits made of plastic, and they just brittle and fall to bits. So this has been done up at some point, probably 20 years ago, probably when someone decided to make the scratch plate for it. 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. But there's a fun to be had from them. It has to be said. I've had, as I said, the last year or something, I've had a couple of these in, and they've sold for like 150, 200 quid really quickly, because it's quite rare to get one that actually works. They do generally need someone like me, and it's kind of not worth taking it into a shop, because a shop would just charge you like 150 quid for what I just did to this guitar to make it play, and that's what the guitar's worth. So you've really got to be an enthusiast to get one of these working. But once they're working, I mean, it must be early 70s, so it's older than me. It's 40 or 50 years old. I don't see why it won't last longer. And the fact that it's plywood and all these things kind of just give it that unique sound that it's got. I'm sticking a loop in. I'm just going to do a quick video. I've already made 5 minutes. Then obviously the fuzz pedal, the wee Delamo fuzz pedal, which I think this will absolutely love. It's not holding tune particularly well. The strings have just been put on it. Also, I put 9s on it, which I said this before, it's probably not the best thing to be putting on quirky guitars. I'd probably find it, I could see if I used 10s or something, I could probably get the action a bit more without it buzzing. Lighter strings means the guitar has to be better to take them, sort of thing. So I should probably have put 10s on it. But I put 9s on it. Just to make it playable. And it's kind of, to be honest, I know, because I've done a few of these, I kind of know how far I can go with it. I can't set it up like a Formula 1 car, the way, like, you know, like an Ibanez is. It doesn't have, it's not possible to do that with a guitar like this. Things are, I mean, like talking about intonation, the bridge is basically just a bent piece of metal. That's it. And it's there. If you want it here, then, well, you can't, it's there. So the intonation is what it is. Which is sort of alright and in. Yeah, but it's, that is, it's as intoned as you can get, a straight line. Actually, I think it should be sitting at a slight angle. I mean, acoustics have got that, you know, so it's just, you can't get it right, tuned right down to. Got a 0 fret as well, which is always nice. And this would just be a plywood fingerboard that's been painted black to make it look like rosewood. And this sort of, I don't know, is that an American-y sort of kind of, is this like Evel Knievel's helmet sticker or something like that? Kind of, or an Evel Knievel guitar? Something like that. And the date's actually printed on the heel of the neck, but it's smudged under the year. So it's the 1st of December, and the other number is just a bit smudged, so I don't know. It could also be a Tiesco, but I'm not sure. I've definitely seen, there's definitely a whole range of guitars that kind of look like this. They can be made to work. Nearly always they've got bridges missing and bits missing. Nearly always. If you can get one like this, I mean, I think you're talking, this one, now that it works, I think 150, 200 quid. When I got it, 80 quid. Some, you know, you can pick these up for, you know, when you had all the bits. With all the bits, I think, with all the bits and not working, it's kind of like £100. Once you get the bits missing, you can maybe get them a bit cheaper, but the chances of these things working are very low. Nowadays, we've got the option to buy parts, but remember, this was an old guitar 30 years ago, when you didn't really have the option of just buying a new bridge. Like the one I had one that was made with, the bridge was replaced with a kitchen door handle, you know, you get in your kitchen cupboards. You know, you had to make do with these things. I mean, even when I started messing about with guitars, there was an option you could buy. Where was it used to sell them? Was it McCormick's? And they had like a parts bit where it was all John Hornby Skews stuff, but they had like Tune-o-matic type bridge, Strat type tuners, you know, that only one make of some sort of importer like Honor or something like that, but they had parts, so you could buy a nut, you could buy knobs, you could buy bridges. Bit of contact cleaner going in that. Is still working? It is. Was you never used to be able to get, so people would have to make their own things, and they would ultimately get. I think, to be honest, a lot of these things, like when I started playing, 25 years ago, that you did these. By that point, they were just crap. Nobody wanted them, and they could be. These are the ones you could pick up in the bars for a tenner and stuff with a few bits missing, and I don't think very many of them will ever have been used, will ever been made to play again. Because you just look at it and you go, well, how much does it cost me to buy, at the time, a new Squire Strat or something? The late 80s, early 90s, going to be like £100. Going to cost you £100 to make this work, and it's not going to be. It's not a real guitar as such. Where it does come into its own is like where your white stripes and all the stuff like that, where people are wanting like a quirky, out of tune fuzz sound for playing some. It'd be good for recording. I mean, I normally set guitars up to have like a 1 1/4 inch action at landing, and we're hitting here that we're easily at we're basically 2.25 mil, so it's a millimetre higher than I would normally have the. I would set up like a a sports guitar. But it's still playable. But that means Alamo Fuzz Pedal just loves these types of guitars. But I mean, yeah, it's got a thing. It's not the thing which it used to be. It used to be a beginner's guitar. Not anymore. These are quirky for mad people, really. I bet you it sounds pretty amazing for like slide and stuff like that with this pickup. It's not going to do modern. It's not going to do your Metallica, really, really. But it is going to do your sort of dirty blues and all that sort of thing. Where, I mean, people are the same chaps that are Dan Electro and stuff like that. Kinda that sort of thing. The difference being part of the thing about using a Dan Electro is, you can buy these guitars for 20 quid or 30 quid and I can play a gig with it. Isn't that pure amazing the way I can play a gig with this 20 or 30 pound guitar? The problem is Dan Electros aren't 20 or 30 quid anymore. They're 200 or 300 quid for even the cheap ones. I think they might even be more than that. That one I was looking at. Although I'm pretty sure the guy said it was like 130 quid new. Now they're 500 quid for that model from then. So that's kind of what this is, but these are still moderately priced. You can still. I don't think you're picking one up. Certainly not from, maybe you get one in an antique shop for like 100 quid that doesn't play but has most of the bits on it, kind of thing, very dusty. They're kind of ornaments. I don't think anyone's really going to play it anymore unless you're trying to do something extreme where there is. I get that sort of perverse pleasure of doing that where it's like, yes, I do have, like a Gibson Les Paul, but instead I'm going to play this because it doesn't sound the same as a Gibson, because it doesn't. It does. This does things that the Gibson Les Paul doesn't do. That sort of cheapy, broken, messed up sound is where this thing excels, even though it's meant for, when you actually use it like what it's meant for, which is like kind of rhythm guitar playing, actually sounds pretty good. It does have a nice jangle to it. So, as I said, different branded available in this. I think I'm assuming this is the one that neither of the ones I've had before with this exact shape, but a similar. I think they're all the same neck. I believe it's a Sakai. It might have been branded Audition. It might have been branded top 10 or top 20. There's other brands. If you're in America, is it a Sears catalogue guitar? A K? Lots of different brands came out of this factory. I think it's Japanese. It doesn't say on it, but I mean, I think it probably is. I'm sure I've seen these someone mentioned these. I'm sure I've seen these pickups before. Is it Hitachi that make them? It's one of the companies you've heard of that you didn't know made pickups, like Hitachi, Makita, something like that. These get them sometimes called gold foils, although these doesn't have gold foil in it, but it does have like a black bit of vinyl where the gold foil would be. Yeah, so fun guitars. It's obviously been played a lot because I mean it's the wear and stuff on it isn't, you know, somebody sitting there with a bit of sandpaper to make it look old. That's not how this is worn. This is worn from being played and sort of looked after. The back of the neck doesn't really have any dents in it, but the fingerboard's been worn away with strummy, and that's been, you know, it's been worn away. That's when you get your relic. That's how polyfinish relics. Interesting. So, get my where's my favourite stuff that is there. How you fix that is you don't spray it just into the socket. You spray it onto your lead, and then you put it in and out a couple of times. And it doesn't make a noise anymore. Yeah, so if you guys pick one of these up, expect to have to do a lot of work on the neck, or just basically have to shim the neck out to make it fit over things that were a bad design. The first one I had of these was a, what was the make again? Jedson Telecaster bass, and it was like, one of my pals, his uncle's had it since the 60s, and it was like, just if you wanted the action less than that, as soon as you pushed down the string, the string just literally went over the pickup. So I mean, I had to do this. That's how I went straight for the full neck shim to just raise the bastard up so it doesn't, the strings actually pass over the pickup rather than actually touching the pickup, which doesn't work. But very much a similar sort of thing again. But fun, and I suppose a little bit of musical history. So I don't know whether if the chap's keeping this or selling it or not. He can use this video if he wants to. But when they work, they work. Rock on. Better than Harley Benton.